Oh boy. Straight to the point. Up in here. Um, I'll wait for a few of y'all to get up in here. Brown Sugar, she already ready. I know you already ready for the Mavs. She hungry for the Mavs. Them Celtics are ready for the Mavs. I know. I know. I went ahead and went live. This game is over with. Um, Shout out to the Mavs. Shout out to Kyrie Irving and Luca. Okay, because so much is dominated and so much is so much of the media is dominated by talks of Luca, but we all know that Kyrie was a major reason as to why they returned. So I'll wait for a few people to get up in here. I think by now, um, a lot of people are pretty much, celebrating. Um, but rightfully so, man. They came out. Uh, the Mavs, man, like I said, if you would have told me that they were going to make the finals last year, I'd have looked at you and laughed, like I told people. And even earlier this season, I'm telling you, I had a lot of Mavs fans coming up to me, left and right, telling me that Jason Kidd needed to be fired. Okay. But what I did tell them is Kidd is a great coach. I always stood by that. I didn't really feel like it was time for Kidd to go. Now, earlier I did make a video and I asked everybody, I said, who was the bigger problem? I said, was it Luca or was it J Kidd? But I do know that a lot of people did want um, Minnesota to win. I was one of them. But unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. I'm showing up. I'm waiting for other people to come give me the smoke. I know people gonna come up in here. They gonna say, "Please hit the like." I know y'all gonna be like, "I told you so." All this other stuff. I'm ready for it. Yeah, I picked Minnesota. I was wrong. I was off. I was wrong about my prediction for both uh, the Pacers and the Timberwolves. So now we move forward to the finals. We move forward to the finals, and this is going to be this is going to be an entertaining finals. I think a lot of people want to see this because I already talked about um, Luca being winless against the Celtics early in the season, and I think both the Celtics and the Mavs, they're both ready for war. Okay, but we'll have to see how that plays out. But I'm just looking forward to what takes place. I think this is going to be a good finals. Congratulations to the Mavs. Uh, they haven't been to the finals in 13 years. And Jason Kidd Stuck by his word. You got to give him credit. Big Lou, what's up with it, man? I see you in here, brother. You say you got Dallas in 7. Look, listen, Lou. I got to give a shout out to Derek Lively, man. Derek Lively could have been like a lot, some of these other guys, but the main guy that I think about, a guy like um, Donovan Mitchell. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean to bring him up, Lou. I know you Louisville and everything, Louisville to the core. However, Donovan Mitchell, he sat out because of his calf. We're talking about Derek Lively having an issue with his neck, and he was listed as questionable, and he still played. And we know that Derek Lively isn't 100%, but the fact that he went out there and he still played, man, that showed tremendous heart. And you're talking about a rookie, so I had to give that shout out to Derek Lively. I swear to God, this is for Kyrie. Yeah. Kyrie, make sure y'all hit the like when you come in here, please. Give your boy a like. Kyrie did deserve. I'm glad he's back. We'll see how this plays out. Sugar. We'll see how they treat Kyrie. We'll see how. Because it's already starting now. That's why like Stephen A. Smith want to come with this old fake ass apology that ain't nobody buying. Nobody's buying what he's selling. Okay, and also you got people in the media now that also want to try to be Kyrie's friend. You got to kill him with kindness. Salute, Matt. Well, yeah, it was over in the first quarter. It was over in the first quarter. And now are you referring to the finals? Because, when you're saying it's over, I was referring to, the game being over in the first quarter. Luka was cooking in the first damn quarter. Absolutely destroyed them. I guess he heard my video earlier today when I said he wasn't the best player. I guess he looked, he was up in there talking in Slovenia saying, fuck straight to the point. I guess that's what he was saying. You said Mavs in 6? Okay, you got money on the game, Matt? I would love to. And seeing that, Matt, you was up in there. You was like, well, you don't sound like you from Texas or nothing like that. Man, look, we could go up in there. We could go to the Mavericks game. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be thoroughly surprised who is from Texas and who don't sound like they from Texas. But I will tell you this though, it's gonna be lit. And we know that Boston does have home court advantage, but don't nobody want to go to no damn Boston. They want to come to Dallas. They want to come down here. People is already ready. And you got the Stars playing too? Shit. Nobody can stop these two. Well, they can be stopped. We're not going to sit up here and act like they can't be stopped. They just had more experience. You know what I'm saying? This is Anthony Edwards' first trip. Minnesota's going to come back, and they're going to make a lot of adjustments. I felt like what they should have did is Najee Reed. I think he needs a starting role. And also, they got to figure out, with Rudy Gobert, Cat, too little, too late. Oh my God! Why would they fire their coach? What what do you mean? Why would they fire? Why would they fire? See, now you acting like LeBron James, Matt Moses. You know you capping right now. What? The games have been close for the most part. This is the only blowout. Chris Finch did a good job, man. So I disagree with you on that. There's nothing that he did that was fireable. Um, he made an adjustment. He made some key adjustments, but it all comes down to the players too as well. You know what I'm saying? You gotta see. We always get on these coaches. Oh yeah, you should fire the coach. If you fire a coach, you gotta go back on a whole nother philosophy, and they gotta buy into whatever that coach is selling. So you sitting up in here, you saying, "Oh yeah, fire the coach, fire the coach." That don't make no goddamn sense. That don't make no goddamn sense. That's why everybody, and then you fire him, and then guess what? Then they don't do as good as they did last year. Alex Rodriguez is not going to fire him. What's up, JMJ? I see you in the building. He almost got swept. They haven't been in the Western Conference Finals in how long? Since 2003, 2004. Make that make sense. They got better every single year. Chris Finch was in the running for Coach of the Year. Fire the coach. That goes to show me you didn't pay attention to Minnesota at all. You looked at the game. Oh, fire the coach. Who they gonna get? No, you don't fire no coach. You go back with the same soldiers. You know what I'm saying? That's a giving up mentality. You don't do that shit. That's what y'all doing now. Y'all adapting to that bullshit that you see from the Lakers. Oh yeah, fire Darvin Ham after he done made the Western Conference Final the previous year. After he done pretty much took a team that was worse and then made them in the first round or whatever from fighting for their play-in lives. Having to put up with a goddamn ego and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Or having to put up with a motherfucker like Donovan Mitchell quitting on his motherfucking team. You don't fire no damn coach. What's wrong with you? Name some good adjustments that he made. No problem. I will go ahead and do that. Since you want to put everybody's feet to the fire, making these old, fire the coach, fire the coach. You know what I'm saying? That's probably, anyway, the good adjustments that he made was taking Rudy Gobert, okay? And I'm really talking about the Denver series, okay? Let's go back to the Denver series. He made good adjustments by taking Rudy Gobert off of Jokic and mixing it up and giving him different looks. Also, in this situation right here, the only thing that I really saw that was a really key adjustment, that it was a slight adjustment that he really made, was putting Kyle Anderson more on Luka to kind of contain Luka a little bit. And I'm talking about that previous game because Kyle Anderson did a great job. For the most part, there wasn't really that many adjustments that really needed to be made in terms of the rotation. It fell on Rudy Gobert a lot of times, missing reads, assignments, and then also we got to put the blame on the rebounding too as well, because they did a horrible job rebounding collectively. That has nothing to do with coaching. Okay, just like LeBron James when he missed a clutch shot, that has nothing to do with coaching. Just like when he was getting beat backdoor with your Lakers team, which Aaron Gordon consistently beat y'all backdoor, that has nothing to do with coaching. if they keep the coach, Gobert or Cat has to be traded. Now, I'll tell you this, Matt. Now you're cooking with grease. Straight Lively came back. Yes, I mentioned that earlier. Lively showed heart. Lively showed heart. And like I said, Rasheed Wallace was on point when he said that Lively is going to come back. Rasheed Wallace was right when he said Lively is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the next 3 to 4 years. But let me talk to Matt for a second. Okay, Matt Moses, I agree with you on that one. You got to do something with Rudy Gobert. I think, okay, this is what he should have did, okay? You want to know what I've been saying, JMJ and Matt Moses? This is what I've been saying, y'all. And if you don't believe me, I'm not the only one that feels this way. I'm quite sure there's plenty of niggas that feel the same way that I feel. Najee Reed should be starting. He's 6'9", he can defend, he's physical, he can shoot, and he can score. And he plays both ends of the floor. He's instant offense, and he gives you energy. You said Bron only help with AD. That's not fair. That's cap. They had plenty of help out there. Matter of fact, the role players did they did do their part. That's why the games were close. Yeah, AD dominated or whatever, but let's not act like Austin Reeves in some games didn't do a tremendous job. Now, what's it called? D'Angelo Russell, you know what I'm saying? He had some games where you looked at him and he needed to step up or whatever, but then he came back and he made up for whatever he didn't do. But it wasn't just all AD and all LeBron or anything like that. It was a collective effort. And then also you got to realize that y'all had a chance to beat the Nuggets pretty much in every game. Y'all had them y'all were leading by 20 multiple games. That don't fall on Darvin Ham. The only thing I got on Darvin Ham was when he, LeBron was up in there crying, you know how he do Muppet baby tantrum and stuff like that about the coaching challenge. Yes, he should have challenged that. You know what I'm saying? I agree with that one. But if that's your reason for firing Darvin Ham, you know what I'm saying? You petty than a motherfucker. What's up with it, Mike? I haven't seen you in a minute, man. You know what I'm saying? Been a while, bro. You good? No, we still here. Still gonna be grinding in this hole. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you gotta trade him. Nas was doing his thing in the play. Yeah, it was. You said you hope the Mavs win the championship. I would like to see. Listen, I wouldn't be mad either way. I know Brown Sugar feels the same way that I do because she's a Celtics fan. But we all love Kyrie. Justice for Kyrie. Matt Moses, he done been in here when I had destroyed Stephen A. Smith and all the media that try to get on Kyrie with their bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want Kyrie to win. I want Kyrie to win. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He hope the Mavs win. But if Jaylen Brown gets a ring, I'll be happy for him. If Tatum gets a ring, I'll be happy for them. So finally, they can get that goddamn monkey off the back. Now they gonna get clowned. Everybody gonna be like, "Oh, you had a cakewalk to the final." But if they could beat Dallas, that would be a phenomenal thing because Dallas ain't nothing to be slept on. Dallas, while they didn't look like it on paper, they're actually a pretty good, solid defensive team. Yeah, Stephen A. Buck dancing. You right about that, Matt. But no, Matt, for real, man, you don't fire Chris Finch, man. Now, you got to think about it. They knocked off. Listen, Matt, how can you fire a coach? Okay, they swept Phoenix. Okay, a three-headed quote unquote monster. Okay, in Durant, Bill, and Booker. Then you go to the very next round and you knock off the champs. You pull off the unthinkable. Like, and on top of that, you came back from being down, a deficit. Okay, and if that's not good coaching, I don't know what is, because you had to make some sort of goddamn adjustments. Then you make it to the Western Conference Finals, okay? So what? You came up short, but y'all made it to the Western Conference Finals, something that Alex Rodriguez and the management and the front office, they have been pushing for. I want to see them both win. Listen, if Boston wins, it won't be because, the Celtics culture. It would be because, I like Jaylen Brown. You know what I'm saying? I like his style of play. You know what I'm saying? I think Tatum, he's great too. To be able to get that monkey off of his back finally, and them not succumbing to the pressure. If Kyrie wins, that'll be great for him. And then also, Matt Moses knows this, because if Luka wins, that would be great. Now, shout out to Showtime. Showtime, man. Now, I remember me and Showtime a long ass time ago. We was on live, and I said that Giannis would win a ring first. Okay, I told everybody that that Luka would win a ring first, but Giannis, it was out of Giannis and Luka, but Giannis ended up winning a ring. But now I said eventually Luka would win a ring if he focused on his defense, and that's what he did. That's what he's doing now. If he actually wins the ring, then it would have proved my case. I would have lost in terms of, Giannis getting the ring first, but I would have won that argument. You know why? Because there were some people saying that Luka would never get a ring. Finch didn't finish the job and was horrible adjusting to Kyrie and Luka. I respectfully disagree. He's not the coach to get them over the hump. That's not a solid point at all, because you got to think about it, man. They were the number one ranked defense throughout the entire season. So, okay, let me give you an example, man. So reading the pick and roll, no, it's okay, man. Listen, stay with me, all right? You said Dallas is going to have a tough time. I hope it's Game 7. No, let me tell you why. Okay, let's talk about this. Now, you just told me that Finch didn't finish the job, right? Okay. Case in point, number one, the pick and roll. So, Chris Finch, it's his fault that Rudy Gobert can't read a pick and roll or can't recover in a pick and roll? No, that's not his fault. Case in point number two, it's Chris Finch's fault that Anthony Edwards is a no-show in the first damn game and didn't know what hit him and shot a horrible percentage, but yet and still the game was still close. Okay, let me keep going. Case in point number three, it's Chris Finch's fault that Rudy Gobert can't get double-digit in rebounds. Cat can't get double-digit in rebounds, but you got Anthony Edwards that's playing both ends of the floor, and he's able to out-rebound your bigs. The game was close, I remind you. Okay, let's go ahead and keep going. Case in point number 4. So it's Chris Finch's fault that Cat can't be aggressive on offense, and he's settling for jumpers. Talking about he shot 1,500 jumpers and stuff like that, but you can't be aggressive. Shout out to Pull Up Podcast for pointing that out too. Shout out to BJ. That's not Chris Finch's fault, especially if the game is close, which means that he's finding other adjustments to make up for the bullshit that he's not doing. Okay? That has nothing to do with Chris Finch. All right? Then on top of that, I'm gonna make it even better for you, Matt Moses. I'm gonna go ahead and pour some Cavassier. Nah, you know what? Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and let me pour some Don Julio. Let me pour some 1800 Conquistador. You know what I'm saying? Some of that tequila get you wild with a little lime or something, right? Rudy Gobert, Matt Moses. Rudy Gobert, 4-time, it's supposed to be defensive player of the year, not defenseless player of the year. Rudy Gobert, 4-time defensive player of the year, quote unquote. You're on an island by yourself. Now, true enough, he shouldn't have been guarding Luka at that time. But if it was KG, he would have did a better job. If it was Ben Wallace, he would have did a better job. If it was Dennis Rodman, he would have did a better job. Hell, Dwight Howard probably would have even did a better job. Even JaVale McGee, as much as y'all talk shit about him, he would have did a better job. Even Anthony Davis, he probably would have did a better job. But you are on an island by yourself, and you can't move your goddamn feet. That's one of the first things that you're taught in high school. Grammar school, you know what I'm saying? Elementary school, whenever you start playing ball, they teach you how to move your goddamn feet. He didn't do that. That doesn't fall on Chris Finch at all. And he iced the game winner right on him in an island, all by himself. That's not Chris Finch's fault. So I'm sitting here giving you several different scenarios, and you're telling me that Chris Finch needs to get fired, he needs to go and everything like that. That's not going to happen. Now, if there was a case where he was getting blown out, if they'd have got out of there, in the first round, and they didn't progress every single year, then yeah. But they're getting better every year. They were a couple of games from making the NBA Finals. Who would have thought Minnesota would have made that motherfucker? They didn't do it with any of the other coaches, did they? Well, okay, so now we're getting somewhere. Now it's because you don't like this fool. What is it? What is it about? See, man, you just be trolling, man. You know damn well that fool should not be fired. You know what I'm saying? Now, if Anthony Edwards, he hasn't lost the locker room. That's the biggest thing. You could tell if a coach loses the locker room. Like Darvin Ham, he lost the locker room, unfortunately. What's his name? Frank Vogel, he lost the locker room. You had Bradley Beal up in there slapping his hand down when he was trying to give him dap and shit like that. Being all unprofessional and shit. Nah, man. Chris Finch, he did as good a coaching job as he could, but you got to realize Jason Kidd is a cerebral coach. He's a championship player and a championship coach too as well. He won as an assistant with the Lakers. That's what we have to understand. Chris Finch does not deserve to get fired, man. Like, we got to stop all this stuff. You go get another coach. I can guarantee you they're gonna have to start back from square one, because then you got to learn how your main player plays, which is Anthony Edwards. Which he has taken over as the leader. Pretty much, you got to learn him. You got to learn your personnel. You got to learn what they, you know, you know, the touches that they need. You know what I'm saying? How this player plays, what type of system would be fit for them. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of stuff you're gonna have to learn. That's what I'm saying. Like with this whole JJ Redick bullshit and getting a new staff and all this other stuff, they are like they're gonna be right back, where they was, in the goddamn finals like they was in 2020. But that ain't no guarantee. That is not no guarantee. I'm up in here watching the girls trip, man. Up in here looking at Latifah and Tiffany Haddish and Jada Pickett. Yeah, man. But shout out to the Mavs, man. Shout out to the Mavs, man. It's nothing that I could say, man. I was wrong. I was wrong. Um, Now, a lot of people got the Mavs in 7. Um, I'm gonna have to take a look at this, man, but it's gonna depend on several things. It's gonna depend on the perimeter defense, in which they have several different perimeter defenders that can at least try to contain them. And I say try because they're skilled offensively and they hit big shots when we talk about Kyrie and when we talk about Luka. Um, and then I'm looking at Porzingis, how much of a difference Porzingis is gonna make. Is he gonna be a difference maker, or is he gonna destroy that chemistry? Because that's also gonna be a big factor too. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been on a roll without him, even though that they've been beating depleted teams. So we got to look at it like that, and then also like what Matt Moses was saying about coaching. It's going to come down to coaching too. Will it be a chess match? Because both of these teams can score. Um, Boston can defend though. They got a whole hell of a lot of defenders on their team. So, but the Mavs can defend too, and they play physical. They play physical. They play physical. Um, they they're playing more physical than what they're giving credit for. So it's gonna come down. It's gonna come down to several different things, and this is another thing too. I look at. I look at how um, how they're gonna react to how Kyrie is gonna respond um, if they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna poke the bear with Kyrie, because if they poke the bear with him, we all know Kyrie coming back to Boston. We all know that what he went through and everything. Um, is that gonna fuel his fire, or is that gonna have a negative impact on him? You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing that we got to look at with Luca. Like I said, that first game in the season that he played against Boston, he didn't do so well. He didn't do so well. He didn't shoot that well, at least. Now, the statistics are going to tell you that, of course, he got a triple double and everything. But as far as his shooting, he shot a very low percentage. Like I said, now the last game that they played, he shot 56%, but they got blown out. They got blown out like 130 something to like 110 or something like that. I don't know. Kyrie is a strong man. Nothing's going to stop him. I agree. I agree, Sugar. I mean, Kyrie would only stop himself. Have his emotions under control. Yeah, now that's one thing that I like about Kyrie. I've never seen Kyrie. Maybe a couple of times when he was younger, but I've always seen him cool, calm, and collective. He for the most part has always been a cool, calm, collective um, individual. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it came to handling questions about the media, especially when it came to pressure situations. You know what I'm saying? Because he thrives under pressure. That's what people got to understand. He lives for that moment and stuff. Now I ain't gonna lie. In the beginning, Brown Sugar, I doubted Kyrie in terms of how he was in pressure situations and stuff like that. But I had to understand who he who he liked. Kobe Bryant was his idol. So he definitely had that. He had that makeup. He had it in him to want that smoke. And he was always cool and calm. When he hit that shot in 2016, he was as calm as he could be. And now he's got a lot riding on him in terms of being able to prove to the people. I'm not going to say prove to the people. Let me say this: prove to all of the naysayers that were constantly trying to tear this man down, destroy his image, prevent this man from working. Because let's not forget, Stephen A. Smith was sitting up there saying, he should not be able to play for no teams in the NBA and all this other stuff. The fact that he's getting ready to play and be able to show the world, and he doesn't have to be worry about being under no type of shadow, uh, i.e., LeBron. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the only shadow that I mean you could probably say is Luca or whatever, but Luca has already deferred to Kyrie. I think people don't understand that either. Luca has said that Kyrie is the leader. I never doubted him. You can look at him and see he's an upstanding man and walks in silence. Ooh, that was deep. That was deep. Ooh, that was deep, brown sugar. That sounded that sounded like the grandma on Nutty Professor. Look at her, got her a tall, young, strong man named Skidmans. Oh my God. He's an upstanding man. Oh man, let me stop messing with Brown. But no, I get what you're saying though. Um, yeah, he definitely oh man, he definitely um he's mentally strong. He's able to handle the rigors that have came to him and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And even with everybody criticizing him, the way that what he does and stuff like that, man, he still is able to make it. You know what I'm saying, and be positive and stuff. And even when he was going through his trials and tribulations, because we gotta understand that he was going through trials and tribulations in Boston and in Brooklyn. He was going through some trials and tribulations when it came to Cleveland too. Because this is another thing too. At first, it was kind of like okay when he came there, and he took a lot of criticism too. Kyrie did. Kyrie was there in Cleveland. He was there in Cleveland by himself. Okay, and of course, with Byron Scott, I think Byron Scott was the coach at that time. He had to. Kyrie was there by himself learning, on the fly. You know what I'm saying? He was young and he was just starting to develop. But then LeBron came back, and it was like everything, all the attention was on LeBron. And I think he felt the way about that, but he still was able to be there, and I don't think he liked the idea of being no sidekick or anything like that. He wanted to prove to people that okay, I can carry this team and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So some people might even say that LeBron kind of prevented him from, kind of not stunted his growth, but impeded his progress, so to speak. But now he's able to lead the charge, and whether people want to believe it or not, it's Kyrie that's leading the charge. Even though he came there to Dallas and everything. Don't forget, Luca deferred to Kyrie. I got to stress that again. Luca deferred to Kyrie, but um, you know, uh, the Mavs, they made it, man. They shut a lot of people up, including myself, man. I can't even front, man. I had Minnesota winning this. I had Minnesota coming back winning. I thought Minnesota was gonna come out being that they was at home, but I just think that they were worn down. They were worn down, man. Minnesota, I think a lot was taken out that last game. So we're gonna have to see what happens going forward in the finals. Um, it's not gonna be it's not gonna be easy for either team. I don't see any blowouts happening, and if there is, man, it's not gonna be an entertaining finals. If it's a one sided finals, man, which I don't want to see, I would be very disappointed, man, because I want to see these two teams go at it. If Boston wins, I'll salute them. If Dallas wins, I'll salute them. You know what I'm saying? Because as long as both of these teams come out fighting, but if it's a one sided battle, I'm gonna cut the TV off. I'm not gonna watch it at all. So on that note, I appreciate everybody pulling up, man. It's all love, man. Shout out to the whole entire Lions Den basketball and as well as boxing communities. And shout out to all of my subs holding it down for me. But on that note, straight to the point, sports and entertainment, man. And I'll get at y'all later.